Mrs. Folashade Yemi Esan, the head of the Civil Service of Nigerian Federation, has declared that Nigeria has the world's best civil service. So this is a question in the heart of many Nigerians, because this is the same Mrs. Folashade Yemi Esan who said some weeks back that some civil servants are being paid in Nigeria. Meanwhile, they are out of Nigeria. And it is making Nigerians to ask the question, what exactly did she see to have concluded that the Nigeria people as the world best civil service? Now, the question to look at is that she's not even saying that, oh, we are doing our best, or these are the measures in place to ensure that we are the best in the country. But she is saying directly that we have the world best. That is the world best. That is, we are better than the UK civil servants. We are better than the system being used in other countries. Here is the conversation as always. So I would like to hear your thoughts on this story. She said we have world the best civil service. What do you think could have warranted her to make this statement?
Well, what she has said, or what we heard her say, is her own mind. When somebody say is the world best,
Mm.
what qualifies that? How was it proven that we are the world best? You know, a system that cannot even. How can Nigeria be the world best have the world best civil servant, where civil servants are not well paid, where civil servant salary are delayed, and you know that a hungry man is an angry man. No one can function effectively when salary is not being paid.
Of course.
When not being paid enough. So how can you, Adi, this statement, where is it coming from? Is it the civil servant that comes out that has come out to say that we are pleased with Nigeria, with the way we are being we are being paid and all that? And under the same this same civil servants who will abandon their services, their work, to travel out and still be collecting, there is the case of a should I call it stealing by trick? All right. Now, this is what it's one of these things we've been experiencing under this administration. People coming to call, to paint something that is not, to paint something what it is not. Okay. The same person who said Nigerian civil servants are this is now coming out to. I'm sure that this woman has received underground hits. I don't know if you're getting it. There must have been an underground hit, from her previous statement that made her to come out to say what she's saying now. But we know what we are witnessing in Nigeria. Nigerians are not satisfied. Nigerians are not well treated. The civil servants cannot come out, and most of them are not even bold to say they are civil servants.
You see, my concern on this story is that, you see, this woman, I feel like people make statements sometimes and, without weighing the effect of their words before they say it.
Okay.
We need to learn to think twice before we speak, especially if you're holding a position like us. I mean, you cited the example of the people who are working but are not in the country. She was the one that gave that order, that they should do a nominal head count of the people who are working. That everyone, they should count them head for head. Anyone who is not present, and then you can conclude that such people are not part of it. And they discover that most of those people are out of the country. Now, citing from that example, if it is world best, would you have your civil servants getting paid, running out of the country, meanwhile they are still on payroll? Do you know that she didn't even make mention of that, of the, people should learn to face consequences of their actions. There was no consequence for those people. If they are the world best, why were there no consequence for their action? Mr. President was saying they should refund the money. Beyond refunding the money, are they not operating under one MDA?
Approving the money?
Who has been approving the money that has been going to them?
And how are their pay being approved? What procedure does this approval
And
pass
another thing
through.
to even look at is that, do they even have a physical job they are doing? Because if they have a physical job they are doing that they are being
Okay,
paid for,
and
who are the
nobody has
people
been doing
doing,
it.
and nobody
Okay,
has been doing, who are the people that has been doing the job while
covering up for them.
while they were not around?
Mm.
So it is raising a lot of
And why
of
is this action? Why is the exercise just coming out? This woman will be retiring by August.
yeah.
All right. Now, another thing I want to say is that she just trying to paint herself nice.
Mm.
She'll be retiring by August.
You know, we never can tell. Maybe because she herself, she was a civil servant before she became the head of civil servant. You know, maybe she was being treated nice. And she, there's a way you speak from the experience that you have.
Are you
She
not? Are you
could be
not?
speaking
Are you
from her
not
own
seeing it from the
experience.
way I'm seeing it? That
Okay.
from there must have been a heat based on her previous, statement
Mm.
about the civil servant. That maybe this what she's making now, this statement she's making now, is a kind of trying to right her wrongs,
Mm.
right? Because if you are saying they've been ghost workers, now it means that even she, as the head of civil servant, has not been effective,
Yeah.
right? If we can have ghost workers of that figure, and that and these people have been collecting money from the federal government or from the state government over the years. I don't know how long she has been in office, but I know she's retiring. I mean, she will be due to leave the office very soon, and it just taking you now that you are close to to leaving office to noticing this thing. It means that if you want to check it very well, she must have a part in that. I'm not trying to
Mm.
say that, but why is she just discovering this thing now? If we are to calculate how much have been wasted from the resources of the government to these ghost workers, considering their figure,
Mm.
it's a big loss. So why is she just discovering this thing, and why is she still coming out now? We've not heard what they are going to do to the people, the people who have been approving their payments. Who has there's not how these people would have been out of the country without the knowledge of some people.
Mm.
You know, there are loopholes. The loopholes in their system, in their network,
Yeah.
is the reason why it is easy
Mm.
and possible for people to be out of the country and still be earning.
Mm.
So it's a failure on our own side.
Mm.
It is a huge failure on our own side that people, about 39,000 of them, Abi,
Yeah.
about 39,000 of them, and these people, just imagine, it is 5,000 that the federal government is paying to these people,
Multiply
times
it by 39,000
39,000
people.
in a month, and how long it has existed. It is a big waste that the government has suffered under her own office, under her negligence, her failure. So I'm sure that she must have been, fired, given a secret hit that is making her to come out and say Nigeria civil servants are the best in the world. Who says so?
Another thing is that, okay, like I said, people speak from their experience. And if you are actually speaking from your own experience of Nigerian civil servants are the best in the world, what are the things that you yourself have done in the last 4 years that will show that in my own tenure,
Yes.
this is what are the things I have done
That can make me to
has
say.
that make me to say. But she's not showing workings. She's just coming out to give some motivational
She's
talk or
looking
something.
fresh. The thing is showing on her, because I didn't been how she, I don't know. Let's have her image again. If how she's looking is how the Nigeria civil servants are looking, we can say yes that Nigeria civil servants are happy and they are the best in the world.
And to
She's
even
looking
look at
very very
exactly,
fresh.
exactly, and you see many civil servants, despite the amount they are earning, you see them looking so haggard. So, which means that the working condition for civil servants is not even healthy.
Even the working environment. Let's take it from there. Go to some of the working environment. They don't even have good seats to sit on. They don't have even good. They don't have healthy working environment.
Do you know that I went to a government school around Ibejileki? I took a student there to write an exam. Just okay, that was towards ending of last year. And on getting to the place, one of the teacher, he shares, the office is very petite, very small, and he's sharing the office with about three other persons.
Imagine.
look at the table. It is even a student that is helping them to fix it. The seat is sitting on. No, that the office is not even conducive for.
Shouldn't even
It
be
shouldn't.
called
It
an
shouldn't. It
office.
shouldn't be called an office. And
There's
when you
something that
go
make
into
an
their
office.
staff room, you look at it and you're like, is this a place where they dump books?
There will be no fan.
Or
there will be no AC. No, we can't even mention AC. So you hardly.
do they even have the lights they want to use to power the
Thank
AC?
you very much. So on what ground? If you are telling us something that Nigeria's civil servants are the best in the world, I don't know how she rated it, that they should be able to, based on these facts, and make comparison. What happened to American civil servants? What happened to these countries where Nigerians have been jackpot to? That I want to make you say that Nigerian civil servants are the best. Are we seeing a video or a picture of Nigerian civil servants coming out in their masses, to say that yes, we are enjoying being civil servants in Nigeria under this administration? So that thing she's saying is just an expression of her own opinion, which she's entitled to.
No, I would have concluded that is actually a motivational speech,
Yeah,
because
yes,
there's
yes,
no justification
yes,
for
at
that. We can
all,
see,
at all.
considering what NLC did recently, the working condition.
Thank you very much.
We didn't see Yemi Esan
Thank
coming
you
out
very
to
much.
fight for them. We didn't see her talking about all of these things. But why towards the end of your thing? So there's no good justification enough for what she has said. So she's just saying all of this in her side talk. But then, in another news, let's take the story on cholera outbreak in Nigeria. So the World Health Organization steps in as outbreak hits Kirikiri prison in Lagos. Development has been coming out back to back um on the outbreak of cholera in Lagos State and some other parts of the state. So the Lagos State has said that the World Health Organization will now battle the outbreak of cholera at the Kirikiri prison. So according to them, a statement was released by the Director for Public Affairs, Tubosun Ogunbanwo, on Sunday, quoted the Lagos State Commissioner for Health, Akin Abayomi, as saying an outbreak of 25 cases of severe gastroenteritis caused by cholera occurred at Kirikiri Medium Security Prison, adding that urgent medical and environmental intervention measures have been implemented with success. So this is a development on cholera. But then let's look at the intervention of World Health Organization in this case. There was a time that they said LFG is seeking intervention on how cholera will become a thing of past in Nigeria. And since June 17th till now, we ought to have seen visible solutions. So should we say that the World Health Organization intervention is a solution that the federal government has been looking for all along?
The truth of the matter is, if the case cholera is not what Nigeria can't combat, right? So what I'm seeing here is very soon the federal government will come out to tell us that they have spent so billion on cholera. Now, should the government allow this cholera to, when when kidnappers kidnap big men, someone they want to collect money from, ransom from, they make sure that you don't allow somebody die in your custody and still, they make sure they take care of, those people. Now, people are in detention, people are in prison, all right, and it is the government's responsibility to ensure that this thing doesn't get to them. All right. So now we know, considering the causes of cholera, it is the failure of the government that has, given room for cholera to get to people. Now, because at least they should have access to good water. Whatever they are eating, at least should be from a clean source. So how come they are allowed? And now World Health Organization is already coming in. The next thing we are looking at or will be hearing is that individuals or some organization have started sending. Is that what the federal government wants to play out on cholera that can be handled? This administration is just they are failing woefully on almost every angle. The things that they should be doing, They are failing in doing them. Cholera is something. Now, if Nigeria cannot combat cholera, what then can we handle? What then can we handle? Now, another thing that is coming to my mind, I remember hearing some people during the coronavirus incidents. People were coming out to say that, I made money during NSAS. Some people say, I made money during coronavirus. You see that people make money from negativity, from negative incidents, from things that are claiming life. So I want to say that, could it be that there are people that are already making money from cholera outbreak? That the government is no longer, instead of looking for vaccine, why this thing can be handled. So is it that we already have a body? Was it not in Kogi or which of the states that we heard about, either Kogi or Benue, about 15 to 17 IDP camp? So instead of handling the problem, the primary problem, they are providing solution that some people will use to enrich themselves. So the federal government, the cholera is not what they should be calling World Health Organization to come in for.
You see, on this case of prison, whatever, the cholera outbreak in the prison, we should then go back to the root cause of this. Because you see that inmates are not properly treated in the country. Inmates are not properly treated. Yes, they are facing consequence for their action, but it doesn't mean that their health should not be taken care of.
And the law is not addressing that.
If you go to some of these prisons, most of those inmates, they cater for their own needs. If you've ever come in contact with some of the people who God has helped to go into that prison and come back alive, they would say that they pay for the things they use.
Of course.
They pay for the things they use. You see that even people would want to do a visitation to this prison yard. They pay to enter. After paying to enter, whatever you give to these inmates, they have to hold it, guide it with both ends, because even within the prison, they are the bosses in the prison who would forcefully take those things from them. So inmates are not properly treated.
I have this guy in prison. I think he's in Kirikiri prison and he's still there currently. That would always call me. He's among all these boys who are not who feel they want to choose their other way of life. And before then, I don't know, he has my number, so he would always call me. I would always send money to him for upkeep and all that. So one day I was like, how can you be in prison and you're using phone? He said, oh, guy, even in prison, there is buying and selling. He said, now these people in prison, that is why people go to prison and come back and become worse.
Oh, exactly.
Prison should be a correctional.
It should be a correctional. It should be to rehabilitate
you
them.
Get so now he said if you have money in prison, you can he said it's another. He's telling me that it's another world. You can still enjoy your life. You have your bed. It was even like if you want to carry woman, you can carry woman. I say inside prison.
Of course, it is happening.
Now now sometimes I've sent money series of time to him, and it was becoming annoying. That anytime he had to call me, so I stopped sending him. So sometimes my true caller detects his name, so I discovered that he will call me with even the prison warder, whatever they are called, their phone number different. Sometimes when I pick and see that my true caller will always tell me where the call is coming from, and I was not surprised that it is what Nigeria has reduced to. Now, you talked about Nigeria inmates are not being taken care of. Now, to me, I feel that if somebody commits an offense and the consequence, the punishment of that offense is death, let it be known that this person is going to die by hanging or whatever. But whoever is being sentenced to 5 years imprisonment, and that person, as a result of improper care, dies in that prison before that 5 years, what is the law? What is the place of the law? Because when somebody is given 5 years imprisonment, now I believe that before somebody is sentenced, the person's health care and health condition should be known. Somebody who is healthy and go to the prison, what happened, what plays out. Just imagine what will have, this cholera issue that I don't just know. Nigeria government is not taking care of the primary issues.
Exactly.
That is why we have this back and front on cholera, on because the other day I was going to Ikorodu, and I as if you are to go to Ikorodu by boat, go to Aja and enter where they have the ferry and all that. You see where people are living. You see the kind of water people are cooking with. You see what people, is the reason why this cholera matter, and these things are things that the government should take care of. Now, coming about the prison, what why what water the people are not cooking for themselves, in as much as they have access to some kind of lifestyle, but they don't have gas there. They are not cooking for themselves. The prison are taking care of that. So which water are they using to cook for this? Why is cholera getting to them in the prison?
It still come back to the negligence of the government in ensuring that things are properly done. And this is a lesson to them as well, that when you don't take care of things when they are still very little, as soon as they escalate, you'll be spending more. Because now, as at now, they are saying that World Health Organization donated 10,000 vaccines to them currently, and the 10,000 vaccine is going to cater for the need of 3,200 persons, which include some of the inmates.
Who
because
is
they
there
will
to
keep
ensure that the vaccine gets
they
to
will
these
keep
people?
and we also hope that when this vaccine gets to these people, they will not be selling it to them. That's another thing to look at. We hope that as soon as they get this vaccine down straight to the inmates, it will not be sold to them on the long run. Because if they are taking care of some of these things, because when you go to even in our police custodies, you see that when you go to some police custodies, as soon as some of those people get out of the police custody, they would say that the condition in the cell is terrible, because it is in the same room where they sleep that they throw feces and do all sorts of things. This is the situation in the country. And it is in this same place that they will pass their food under the whatever for them to eat. They drink, pee on themselves there, and the condition there is very terrible. Talk more. That's for a police station. Talk more of the prison yard. The condition for those who cannot even afford to, like you cited an example of the person. Some of this. I went through a post on X where the guy was saying it was by the grace of, he said someone reached out to him and asked him to send recharge card, that he needed to take care of certain responsibility in the prison yard, and he was asking, recharge card, take care of responsibility for what? He said that is what they do. And a guy was sharing his experience that he would always call home and ask them to send him money, because he knows that if they don't send him money, there's nothing to eat for that day. So they take care of their needs, they take care of their bills in the police custody. That is for those people who can take care of. There are some people that their family members do not even know they are in
That
the
they are
prison
in
yet.
prison.
They don't even have access to their family members. So these people resolve to eating the crumbs. If they can do the job in the prison to get paid, they would do the job. I currently know of someone who is serving in Kirikiri, serving as a UCOM member in Kirikiri. When she was explaining all of these processes, I was like, what is all this? In Kirikiri, as much as it is a correctional center, it is not a place where people should be going through this hell. So you see that from all of these things, it's developed to cholera. Now they're having cholera. We also hope that now that they have the cholera, the government will take care of all of these things. It will not be that, we have always been hearing of lambas in the Nigerian government. We hope that this is not going to be one of those lamba. But I want to hear your final thoughts on this story so we can.
What I want to say is that the government should break up. A lot is expected of the federal government, a lot is expected of the state government. Now, in Lagos State, Kirikiri is in Lagos State. Lagos State has resources that can take care of this thing. Lagos State has the capacity to combat cholera that is trying to take over a place like Lagos. A place like Lagos shouldn't be a place we should be talking about cholera outbreak, because it's not. We want to talk about places. It shouldn't be Lagos State. It shouldn't be Lagos State. Kirikiri is not is not in the bush side of Lagos.
Yeah.
All right. So why outbreak of cholera? Why the spread? And again, the government should know that the people are watching. All right. In as much as we know that people make money from every incident that happens in Nigeria, but not something that has to do with health. They say health is wealth. If the people are crying for other hardship, let this not be inclusive. It will be a big shame that the world is expecting, is seeing, reading that people now have to donate money for a case like cholera to be combated in Nigeria. Nigeria has grown big, and we are called giants of Africa.
No, we are no longer giant.
Okay, it has been retrieved from us.
No, it has been retrieved. That was when we were the first largest economy. Now we are the fourth.
Oh,
So I think they've
so
taken
we are
that
not even
giant away
longer
from
giants.
us.
So please, our leaders, rather than spending money on aircrafts, rather than somebody having 4 drivers, 10 drivers, only if one of what is it called can have 4 drivers. Only God know how many drivers follows the governor. Right? Rather than going on 100 convoys, let's spend money on things that is bordering on the health and other things that is ravaging the citizens of Nigeria, and everything will be fine.
All right. On this note, this is all that we can take on the segment for the newspaper review today. But before we leave the studio, we'd like that you follow us on all our social media platforms. On Facebook, we're Prime Media TV. On Instagram and TikTok, we're Prime Media Studios. On the website where you're currently watching us, we're enginespeak.com. And you can do well to follow us on YouTube at Engine Speak. I am Ayo. Until I come your way again, to have a great day.